Zayas, go ahead.
Start, yeah. The last couple point.
Oh, can't hear you, Zayas. Hold on. There you go. Try it again, Zayas.
Juked me. Is that working?
Yeah, now you got it.
Yeah, so we've released a handful of point releases in the last week or so, mostly trying to combat some performance issues that have arisen, and also fixing obvious breakage of the index and the Oculus support, which came with a Steam update, actually. It's just generally bug fixing and performance fixing, and that's really the gist of all these point fixes. Is there anything super technical you wanted to get into about
can we talk about the super secret stuff or not?
I don't think we're supposed to.
All right.
I think
yeah.
not. There's no secret stuff.
It's performance. It's the show related stuff, I guess. But that's going to come when we do actually do the show coming up. So we'll keep it a surprise for the actual show then.
Yeah, we were going to utilize it in today's event, but as that's been postponed, so will the release of the new feature.
Anyway, so that's part of it too. Is supporting the upcoming show was part of it, and then there was that that bug we had with the out of memory stuff, or the one that was crashing certain scenes. Camp Crystal Lake was one. We think we fixed that one, so hopefully that'll be good. And material API bug that got fixed, some other stuff. So it's mostly just stabilizing, especially before the holiday break. So let's grab. There we go.
Yeah, many of us are going to be out for the next 2 weeks or so. But yeah, that's really the gist of all these point releases. Just bug fixing, performance improvements, and a little sneaky top secret stuff.
Some sneaky sneaks. Great. Okay, so let's go ahead. Lacey, you want to introduce yourself since you arrived? Let me go ahead and give you
I'm Lacey.
Don't talk yet. Don't talk yet. Nobody can hear you.
Oh.
There
okay.
you go. Now done.
Keeps juking.
I'm Lacey. I do lots of things. Hello. Nice chairs.
Plus, she has an amazing avatar. Look at that. So great.
Oh, thank you.
Very Christmassy.
Got that festive spirit.
Everyone should be wearing Christmas stuff or some sort of holiday-related stuff. I would think.
I'm glowing red a little bit.
Like Blush here.
Blush's outfit is adorable.
It's amazing. So many good stuff in here.
It's like the Flash ran to the North Pole and came back. That's Blush's avatar right now. Okay, so next, let's go ahead and, Lacey, I believe you wanted to talk about the IP stuff?
Yeah. So, as some of y'all have known, this has been something recent. So as of recently, particularly as some of y'all might have seen in the Discord discussion over this past weekend, the team has noticed there's some confusion about our policies and processes surrounding intellectual property and how it relates to SANSAR commerce. So with this product meetup, we'd like to take this opportunity to reiterate and clarify Linden Lab's official and legal stance on the matter for the community to clear up any confusion on the matter. And so these are the official terms, which are and have been listed on the website. We have a DMCA complaint form readily available on the Linden Lab website for IP holders to access and utilize at their will. We respond to DMCA complaint submissions in full compliance with applicable laws. We're not legally obligated to proactively make takedown decisions for IP holders, and that is written into our TOS. It is incumbent on IP holders to enforce their protections, and several of them withhold execution of those protections for their own reasons, which we are not privy to, such as cheap, free, grassroots, or crowdsourced advertising, allowing for interesting or unique fan creations, etc. If a user chooses to make content that utilizes another entity's IP, they do so at their own risk. Items may be taken down, or they may face issues if the IP holder chooses to pursue legal action. So, if you guys have any additional questions surrounding our policies, we have our content guidelines and our terms of service, which both list this out. And this is also on the Linden Lab website, where you can also find the official link when you scroll down to the very bottom. It says intellectual property notices or something, I believe. I'd have to check, but it's something like that at the very bottom of the page. So, hopefully no more 700 plus Discord messages in the weekend. Love y'all guys. That's L.
Okay, so that's the IP stuff. You are free to read that at your leisure.
Oh, I'll be posting this on a Zendesk article or something in the Discord. So if you want to take a relook at that.
Ooh, why not both?
Why not both, I guess, yes.
Why not both? Okay,
Exactly.
so there's that. I understand that all of you might not agree with it or might not, you would do it a different way if you had a business, which is totally great. I appreciate that there's many ways to skin a cat, but that's how we do it here. And you will be able to
The legal
check
team, yes.
You're right. That's how the legal team does it, not us, Lacey and I.
I was reading off a book report.
Yeah. So anyways, you are free to check that as soon as it's up. And of course, you can always send questions in. But that should, we're going to post that so there's no longer any sort of, well, what's the official response? Now we have one. Okay, next we have 2020 is coming up. What should we expect? Let's look at a little bit of a roadmap. Who wants to speak to that?
I got it. So we got a couple things on the short list, so to speak. You haven't even seen the updated version of the emote system yet, but it's coming in an update very soon, and that will include the ability to buy an emote off the store and immediately use it from runtime. You won't have to go to the character editor and assign it to your avatar and pick a slot and none of that stuff. You just buy it, click it. You can even assign a keyboard shortcut to it right off the bat, and then we'll be extending that hopefully to try to support some sort of group types of emotes and even scriptable emotes, so that a dance floor or something like that can take control over your avatar and make it start moving. We also want to expand the backpack further so that individual scenes can define whatever they want the backpack to contain, and also expand the scripting APIs to be able to control the backpack so that you could have different states in your world unlock or lock different backpack items for individual users. So you could say have a sword that you unlock through some gameplay activity that only those people can pull out of their backpack. We're also going to rethink the way that we've got the whole first 10 minutes onboarding experience with that first quest you get meeting Primus is probably going to change a bit. You guys probably won't see much of that difference, but you might hear of it from new players coming in. It'll be a little bit shorter and more focused on music and events and going to parties, less so much on any story. We're also going to start picking up the slack on the moderation tools. Probably first and foremost for ourselves, but then also expand those out to you guys for your own worlds, where we'll try to get some in-client tools so that you can, if you're the owner or a moderator for the region, mute people, kick them out, ban them from your region without having to open a ticket or redefine your white or access list. Excuse me, I was gonna say white and black list, access list. Let's see, what else do we have? The instance picker is something that we're looking into as well for early next year. So you'll be able to see a list of all the instances running for different worlds and jump between them, maybe even host your own. And a bunch of other smaller things that probably aren't as exciting to talk about. Stretch, anything in there that you want to touch on?
Not too much. I mean, the emote system is the big thing that I'm working on at the moment. So emotes, new emote system, new way to assign emotes, and you'll be able to preview them still in the character editor. And it's the same emote panel in the world and in the character editor now. So some of these complaints about the character editor one hopefully will go away, because it's just a flat list now, much easier to understand.
Stretch, is it safe to talk about what we were talking about in Slack after we were talking about the robots? I don't want to give too much away.
What? What are we talking about?
We were talking about the robots and SANSAR product. Let me ping you real quick.
Robots?
Never mind.
I don't know what he's talking about,
Okay,
but I'm sure I'll remember once he tells me. And then, like I said, scripting stuff, scripting support, new scripting support for a lot of cool stuff. Synchronized dancing is a big one that we want to do with the shows. And so that's going to come as part of the script API, be able to do synchronized dancing, as well as being able to do kind of local play of animations. So equipping an animation into your scene, not equipping an animation on the emote. Ooh. So you have a dance floor, right? And the dance floor knows what kind of dances it can do. and so then you can play those on avatars. So you're not going to like play a mode 1 on an avatar from a script. You're going to be like, play the waltz. Everybody loves the waltz. So all the kids are doing, play the waltz, and then people can waltz on the dance floor. So that's what's coming.
Get those dances from the marketplace?
Yes. So, or whatever animation. So the new API supports, I've kind of set it up to support full body looping, full body single play, upper body looping, and upper body single play animations. You can kind of do what you want with those, and buy those animations from the store. They're going to be avatar animations, so we'll try and work on that flow a little bit. But yeah, buy them from the store. All the emotes will be available that you already own to play on people in your scenes. So kind of like any other scene item. Yeah, and then after that, expanding on the backpack, there might be some little small things that we try and get in here and there too, in terms of the script API. So some new little fun things that we're thinking about, but we'll see if we can get those in. But yeah.
Okay, I think that's about it with the agenda topics today. Just so you're all aware. Don't use this information in a bad way. Don't take advantage of this. But we're going to be out. The linens will be out from I guess it's the 23rd to the 1st. So while some of us might be hanging around on Discord because we live out in the middle of a farm and we have nothing better to do over the holidays because we're snowed in a lot of the times. I'm speaking specifically about myself. We will not officially be around. So just so you're all aware, that's also that's my life. You don't have snow in Texas. So that'll be happening. So if you want any questions or anything's answered, you should try to get those into us before then. Just like any holidays, any business, there's going to be even less people around than before. So just so you're all aware. And I think that's it. Okay, maybe we can move on to questions now, unless anybody has anything else they want to share. I think that somebody behind me is talking very loud. We have a couple of events coming up today, as I mentioned earlier, so I want to see you there. We can talk about those later. If you bought Don Diablo tickets, you will get a refund as soon as possible. You don't have to do anything for that. We know who bought tickets, and we'll just refund folks. Now we can move on to questions. Okay, so let's go to the questions. Let me see what we have here.
Do you want me to read them out, or?
No, I'll go ahead and read them.
There's one quick thing. Okay. RNA, I want to do my own dances. You can still do your own dances. There's going to be an emotes menu. You can click on them still. It's just if there's going to be synchronized dances, the server has to synchronize those. So, and animations in general played by the scenes can do other stuff besides dancing. So it's more just like a general system for animations, but you still have your own dances and you can do your own dances and all that stuff. So just want to address that real quick in the chat.
Okay, cool. All right then. So the first question from Glitch. Do I have the option to keep my ticket? I'm going to say no. You'll be able to get a new one when we release the new tickets. He's going to come back and perform in January. Also, I don't know what you would. I don't know if you tell me why in the chat you would want to keep your ticket. That'd be helpful. But the short answer is no. We're going to refund everybody with like an automatic system. So we're not going to manually go and say, hey, you keep it, you don't. Okay, next. XZB, hi. Does anyone know what happened with the Don Diablo event? Sure, I can answer that. Don Diablo was not quite prepared to perform in VR, and he had a very unique and interesting setup to perform in, and so he wanted to make sure everything was perfect before he went on and thought he needed more time, and we got that information yesterday. So that is as quick as we could address it, and unfortunately that happens sometimes with shows. It happens in real life too, where people are going to show up to an event and they miss the concert for whatever reason. So we're still happy to have him. He's super pumped to perform here. He just wants to make sure he knows how to do it to the best of his abilities so he can perform at the level he'd like to. So that'll be happening in January, we believe. So keep your eyes open for the rescheduled date. The Don Diablo show today is canceled. Yes, somebody asked in chat. It's not canceled totally. It's just postponed, but it'll be happening next month, probably. So again, keep your eyes open. We'll announce it as soon as we get that rescheduled. He's still performing. It'll still be in Boots' house. It'll be really cool. Okay, next. Where can I find info about that? Oh, that's the same question. Okay, Nikki asks, is there something going on in the lookbook? Sometimes my items reset themselves, like when I change a shirt on an existing item. Also, the saving process seems to be taking a long time when changing existing avatars, saving new outfits, etc.
Yeah, so a bunch of boring stuff happened in the lookbook to make things easier to work with going forward, so there's probably going to be some bugs. If you see those, please report them. As far as the lawn saving time, Stretch, do you think that was the server texture bug probably, because it was uploading textures twice? I don't know.
Possibly. Yes, possibly. It might be better today after we fix that bug. That could be, that's good. It could be that. If you try again today, it might be faster. Check it out.
We'll definitely be looking at...
We fixed the bug.
Yeah, I tried again today and it's still taking a long time. So.
Okay.
Okay.
We might be doing something twice. We'll
you
definitely be
try and
following up
profile that.
on trying to make the lookbook a lot more responsive in the new year. A lot of the boring work that went on the last month was to make that possible.
Okay. Sorry about that. We're working on it, and hopefully we'll get the lookbooks back in action soon. All right. Harmonic asks, says, Harmonic says, if you insist on leaving the annoying sound in the background of the Nexus that sounds like a washing machine, can you please separate the overall music collision and sound volume of the world separately? I tried to put your anger into the question, Harmonic. Hopefully I represented you correctly.
I don't know, Agent Primus sounded like a washing machine.
Okay. Agent Primus has a beautiful voice, and it is unmatched in all of Sansar, and I think we all know this. Okay.
Jayus, you want to talk to that one? What's going on with that? The sounds there are terrible. All right, well.
There's supposed to be music going on, but they left some of the old Apex sounds in there.
Oh.
So we should clean that up then.
Yeah, we were supposed to pull those out, so we'll do that.
Yeah, we've got a sound guy. We'll get the
just
sound
let me
guy on
know.
it.
You can
It would
go ahead and let me
nice
know.
to have
I can soften the
separate
volume.
audio.
Torley
Oh,
here.
Torley's here.
Passing by
Hi, Torley.
randomly.
Torley, they don't mean it. Torley, they don't mean it. They love you. Don't worry.
It's context, right? In some situations, an appropriate sound is going to sound awful.
Yes. Don't worry, Torley. I'm sure Harmonic knew if it was you, he wouldn't have phrased it
I
so.
prefer the raw cattiness. It's all good.
Harmonic takes no prisoners. I'm sure he would have said it even harder if he knew it was Torley.
Really?
Yeah, because at first I was like, the washing machine? Is that dubstep? Because sometimes it really is.
Blah, 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 blah.
That is the music stream in there
That's
right
what my
now. It's
washing machine
EDM
sounds
dubstep.
like.
Yeah. There's that YouTube viral video of that washing machine that's kind of off its rocker and it's making a techno rhythm. It's pretty cool. Y'all should check it out.
Okay,
All right.
well, we're gonna work on that basically then. After all that, we're gonna look at the sound. Yes.
Since you've shown up, Torley, and now you're talking, everybody recognizes your distinct voice. Do you want to introduce yourselves to the folks who may not know you?
Oh, hi. Yeah, friendly greetings, everyone. I'm Torley here with SANSAR Studios. I'm the production director, so I help with coordinating logistics. I work very closely with Sino on a whole lot of stuff, getting our worlds live. Yeah, I also do the sound design stuff. I do a lot of miscellaneous thingamajigs, and I have a lot of legacy knowledge here, which I like to share and pass on. So for curious Sansar trivia, feel free to hit me up.
Whenever you guys ask me a question, Torley's usually the one who's answering the
Just
now you know.
All these things, like hurting mental cats.
So if you phrase questions now, hey, Galileo, can you ask Torley this for me? Then that's exactly what's happening. Okay, next, Robin's up. I'm going to try to get Robin's emotion in here too. How does Robin talk? I don't know, she's pretty calm. Okay, regarding the lookbook, I noticed that changing emotes now takes much longer because it seems to want to load each emote before it loads the next one when you are scrolling down your list. It takes a lot of time to get to the bottom of the list with that happening. Sincerely, Robin.
You pointing at me, Dave?
It looked like it.
Yeah, I'm pointing at you.
I mean, it's a completely new list in the new year. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it's working differently now.
Yeah.
I was looking at the code. I mean, it shouldn't load it unless you click it. The code definitely says don't load unless you click. So maybe it's a UI thing.
I don't know. As soon as I hit down to go to the next one to scroll through the list, it just automatically loads each one before it'll go to the next one.
Huh. Well, it's something we can look into, but we are replacing that list altogether with a new list that you equip your hotkeys to, and that's per account. It's not per avatar anymore. So that means it kind of saves a lot of work, because a big complaint was that if you create a new avatar, you have to go in and equip all your emotes again, and it's kind of an arduous process. So
Yeah, that'll be good.
yeah. So, but new thing in the new year, and we can do a quick look to see if there's anything there, but I don't know if we're going to get it fixed before we just replace the whole thing. So, Galileo?
Oh, yep. Currently answering some stuff in Twitch chat. So let me get back to the other sheet.
Thank you for
here.
that, though. Thank you for reporting it. That's great.
Nikki asks, regarding chat, is it possible to put incoming new chats at the top of the list? Right now, I believe they're at the bottom.
Just invert the order of chat.
This goes down instead of up.
It's definitely possible.
All right, Nikki, we'll take that into account. We'll see.
It's kind
what we
of
can do.
a product decision which way you want to do it. But.
And Nelly, who's our product/designer right now, isn't here today, but he'd probably be the best guy to answer those types of questions.
All right, Nikki, we can drop that in an email for Nelly at some point, so we'll get back to you on that. If we're not going to do it, we'll at least tell you why we have the philosophy of why we do it the way we do it, so that way you have more context. Robin asked, and Lacey answered this, but I'm going to read it out just in case people can't see our chat. Robin asked, also regarding chat and blocking, when will you make sure that a blocked person is fully blocked so they are unable to continue to harass in local chat? Lacey says, we're actively looking into that, and I believe somebody else said, might have been Alex, that's a bug, so we're going to look into it. Okay, Louv asks, have you observed the Bindi avatar leg glitch? I observed it several times now, including on Lacey when she arrived in here. Wow, Lacey called out.
Yeah, the backwards knees.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Just
Right leg was...
backwards knees? Is it an IK? Obviously, it's an IK issue of some kind.
It may have been she had her back to the couch, and she might have just had that foot on it, but...
Well, I've seen a number of people do it now. When they're walking across the scene, their legs sort of bend weirdly.
Okay. We do a lot of different IK things, so...
it's just like the front right, the knee.
Let's get a video, JR. Let's get a video, Zayas, if we can. We can try and repost it, and then we can take a look at it. We have two sets of IK. So one is we have this kind of IK where the foot goes up, but then we have this kind of automatic kind of movement IK as well. So it's probably the combination of those two potentially.
Stretch is moving in real life in VR. That's what
exactly. I'm moving in real life, and I'm not pressing the sticks. It's just moving with this automatic stepping. And there's also this foot IK to actually put my foot up on the dresser or the dresser.
And I'll throw in. Can you sort out my black armpits?
Yes. Black armpits. So one thing we want to do in the new year, I'm pushing for us to do, is the skin upload. So I think we should try and get to that. Skins as a resource.
Echo.
Is that me that said?
It's Galileo.
Skins as a resource. You can sell in the store. Apply to the morphable avatar. I think that would go a long way. I mean, we've been experimenting internally too for the show to make the likeness of the performers. So, yeah, skins as an upload is a big deal, I think. Yeah.
Okay,
SANSAR
sorry.
demands more skin. That's true.
The questions are being answered in what is on the sheet. So if you see your question, go ahead and put it back in. Sorry about that. We're trying to keep track of questions on 4 different platforms here. So the next question that I have actually came from Twitch. Trying to make sure to answer all of these in order that we receive them. It's kind of difficult. All right, Twitch. Somebody on Twitch says, will 2020 bring more business-oriented decisions to encourage content creators to create for the platform? Right now, from what I heard, there's a 65% cut for all the products you sell. I think it's 62-ish, maybe 60. But that's not the real question is, are we going to bring down that percentage, and what other decisions what other business-oriented decisions are going to encourage content creators to create for the platform?
I can't answer the first part, but on the second part, we're definitely looking into a lot of pain points in regards to building and creating content, at least on a solo level. So like UI issues, trying to look into like world versioning, perhaps, those types of things. So it's more like tooling and productivity and efficiency improvements.
Okay. All right. So that's from. So does anybody? Do we have anybody in the room that can answer the percentage question? I think we've addressed that before.
I don't think we do.
Okay. Nobody's here. I'm sure we've addressed that in one of these before. So maybe what I can do is get an official response from the decision makers who make that decision, and we can put it up on the forum so people can look at exactly our reasons for that. Okay. Next, where are we? Ransom asks, any update on the individual voice sliders?
Actually, somewhat. I didn't actually mention it when I was talking about new stuff coming for next year, but a big thing we're looking into is a pretty comprehensive UI redesign. Trying to simplify down basically less clicks to get to things, have things like chat be omnipresent without having to have like an opaque window up all the time, for example. And so on that front, we're trying to add more information into the chat tool, so you could see like all the nearby people who are actually live in chat, and from those menus opening profiles, and from that potentially being able to change the individual user's volume control. So it kind of comes on the tail end of a lot of other bigger changes, but yeah, is the short answer.
Okay, let me go. Evo asked earlier, and he just reposted it. Can Bina get some dedicated time to prepare for scripting office hours? She's doing them bi-weekly and sort of fills the void when product meetups went bi-weekly as well. This is the second time she had to cancel the event because she did not have enough time to prepare for it. Well, I don't know if Bina's supervisor is in here, but I will say that Bina's busy because she's working on important stuff like building stuff for everybody. So if she's not doing scripting office hours, it's because she's doing something that is more important. And more important is usually making stuff for you all. So unfortunately, we only have one Bina. So that's if one of you figures out how to clone folks, that would be great for us so we can clone Bina. Also, yeah, thanks, Glitch. Just get on that. Just let me know how that works. So anyways, Bina, unfortunately, is doing all that she can, and the fact that she can do office hours at all right now is pretty amazing. So hopefully you don't stress, thank her for that when you see her, and obviously we'd like her to be doing that all the time as well. But we're all super busy. So anyways, I'll tell Bina that you all miss her, and we'll see if that is, allows her to move around sometime, but I doubt it. But just tell her thank you the next time you see her. She's doing that out of the kindness of her own heart. So next we have Evo. That's the answer to your question. Zilt asks, and Torley answers this, but I'm going to read the answer and question out so people can see it on Twitch and YouTube and Steam. Zilt asks, more Nexus fun. Can the auto menu pop-up on the portals be changed to open when you click on them? Walking around the Nexus is not fun. And then Torley says, hey, Zilt, that was a conscious choice to prevent sending people blind into portal places without context and giving more info beforehand. But you raise a good point for some use cases. Okay, so that
realistically, what we should do there is
ahead.
make those static portals work the same way that the dropped portals do, where you can walk into it, but you can also just walk away from it. Right now, those static portals in the Nexus, they like steal all your input. So if you walk next to it, your WASD controls no longer work. So you have to manually close the panel and then continue walking.
Oh, it's
so
like a tractor beam.
Yeah, it like traps you, and it's like you definitely want to go here, but it's kind of annoying, and I understand that. So ideally, we change it to work like the dropped portals, where you can just walk in and out without having to interact with it necessarily.
Yeah, let me chat with Spooky Man about that, because so one of the things that we would love to have is some sort of prefab object system at some point in the future where you could update a master object and update all the others, because essentially it's become more tedious with all these rounds of different portals to have to update them uniformly. So it'd be great to have something like that. But in the interim, yeah, we could look into changing that interaction and making it more amenable or providing that option. Because I don't like how it takes focus either. If you know where you want to go into there. Yeah.
Sometimes you're just walking past it and it nabs.
Yeah, it's like, hey, don't grab me, portal. In those cases, too, we had to make some of the trigger volumes smaller for some of those bigger ones. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Oh, yeah, me. I'm kind of like Krampus. This is my failed attempt at trying to do an alternative. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Oh, wait a minute. That all went sideways. So, Jeff Goldblum fly interpretation.
Well, that is horrifying. So it's almost as good as Silas's whatever that thing is that he wears sometimes. It looks like sort of like a chocolate chip cookie went wrong in the oven or something. Silas's big, what is that thing that he wears?
Looks bad, tastes good.
It's floppy, whatever it is. It's a floppy monster. Blush. What is it, Blush asking? Oh, Blush asking, will there ever be an AFK type of thing when you can tell if someone is AFK or not? We're looking at you, Braveheart Tutor.
I want to. Second Life has it, where the avatar kind of just hunches over, like it's falling asleep, standing up.
Huh.
I don't know if the best thing is to have a bunch of idle AFK people, or to, if you're idle after a certain amount, pop you back to the home, or whatever your preferred location is. What do you guys think the best thing to do is for SANSAR?
Yeah, what do you want? Go ahead and put your answers in chat. What do you think would be dope? Or if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it right now. All right, why don't we go ahead and put it in chat? Next, Bryn O. Is there any plan to make the Space Navigator mouse compatible with SANSAR for Machinima?
Not immediately. I do have one sitting in my cabinet right next to me, but we don't have immediate plans to work on that.
All right, Breno, there you go. Louv asks, can we have scrolling slideshow billboards showing all events, etc.? Also random world switching on the portals.
Not a bad idea.
So
like
I think...
I'm feeling lucky type portal.
I also think that we talked about this the other night, so to expound upon Louv's ask here, it's also the ask of other folks, is when we have an event, we have those big billboards, so why don't we, is there any way that we can use some sort of scrolling mechanism to show all of the events on the events page so people aren't just seeing one event the entire time?
Could be.
All right, there you go, Louv. It could be a possibility.
Awesome. Let's make that.
Louv wants that to happen. Yeah.
Make that a definitely.
I couldn't hear you. Sorry, what?
Let's make that a definitely.
All right, so that's up there. So we've said that now. Okay, Twitch. Somebody asks, sorry, Twitch, I didn't grab your screen names. Somebody on Twitch asks, are there any plans for an inventory system and an in-world wallet and the ability to tip anyone you wish and the person to be able to cash out the money?
Tipping is something that we are looking into. Maybe more from an official performer standpoint, less from an individual to individual standpoint, to be determined though. But we are looking into it in early next year. And what was the second part of that question?
That person, we want those people who receive tips or gifts to be able to cash out the money and not just have them be SANSAR bucks.
I don't know about that, and there was a first part of the question that I forgot.
Are there any plans for an inventory system and an in-world wallet?
So the inventory system, is that much different than the backpack that you're thinking? Are you thinking like your own stuff that you take from world to world? Because that's how I interpret it.
This person is on, I don't know if they're still there, on Twitch. So Twitch, if you're listening, go ahead and clarify. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat there. Okay, so we're going to move on. Let's see. Oh, Nikki, speaking of tips, Nikki implemented something into her recent SANSAR World Tour performance with Annette Fuchs. I suggested that Nikki find something to sell a little piece of merch they could sell so people could tip. And when you tip, you get a little item. That item might not actually be important, but it's the fact that you're tipping is what's important. So what Nikki did, Nikki, you can actually explain this to yourself if you want. But let me see if I get it right. Nikki put a bunch of mushrooms in front of the stage because this happened in her world that has mushrooms in it. And if you clicked on a mushroom, you got to buy the mushroom. And there was different tipping prices per mushroom. So I think maybe they're all the same. But you could tip by buying a mushroom. And so that mushroom would go to Nikki because she owned the experience. And then because it was an item that she bought, she was able to cash out real money. And then I guess Nikki would pass some of those tips on to a Nick Fuchs. So there's workarounds, and that was one that I thought worked really well. And if anybody else figures out any workarounds until we get an official system in place, that'd be good. But right now, one of the things you could do if you want to make money or help, or cash or whatever, if you want to tip somebody or allow tips to be had, is put a little merch stand and sell that merch for whatever you want. And so if you have like 5 T-shirts in a row, people could tip 25, 50, 100, 150, 200, whatever you want to price those items at, and that's a good workaround. And even if you don't want to make your own item, maybe somebody can put up a tip jar item to be bought in a store. However you guys want to work that out. I think that's a good workaround for now, but we will be working on getting something up and running soon, so tipping will be possible officially. Okay, I think that tipping workaround. If you want to expound on that later, you can, or if somebody else wants to. That person answered in Twitch chat. Okay, let me go back to Twitch and go ahead and back up that question. Okay, this goes back to the inventory system, Zaya. So the inventory system is where you can share items with other people and you can organize your purchase items, easy access objects, outfits you own, and ability to wear those items without having to go to the lookbook. And also the ability to drop items in other people's worlds if they allow it.
I see. Yeah, that's a much longer term ideal than what we're shooting for early next year, but I like the idea.
Okay, so virtual decadence, that idea is now in the heads of our product people, so maybe it'll get from their heads to the roadmap someday. Keep an eye out on these product meetings because we'll update you. Okay, next we have Laban Core. Is the mobile client for SANSAR still actively being worked on?
Yeah, actually.
Did we ever talk about that?
I think we mentioned it somewhat, sort of, but yeah, we're actually looking back into it again.
I think Laban Core has spies in the office. Wow. Well, Laban Core, thanks for revealing yourself. We're going to hunt down everybody and see who knows what. Okay. So yes, we're still working on a mobile client. We'll keep you updated as we start making progress on that. Zero Cheese. Zero Cheese. Since a recent update, textures have been turning black when users switch between low, medium render quality. High seems to be the only way to see the world normally. I sent in a report for request number 34970. Textures failed to render in medium, low render quality settings. Has that issue been looked into yet?
Dave or Stretch?
We're a little backed up on tickets right now. It's just me. So, no, not yet.
But thank you for the report.
Yep. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Evo Av asked a question regarding the emote shortcuts. Will scripts have a way to still use the number keys without triggering emotes?
Immediately, no. You're going to kind of get shafted in the short term, and I apologize for that. However, it is going to result in it hasn't been totally figured out how yet, but a way for a way for users to rebind whatever key they want to anything. And that way, scripts won't be pointing at a specific key, but an identifier. And then any user can reassign any key on their keyboard to those identifiers. And then we're not locked into us like taking keys from you. We can set up a default set. Any user can change it to whatever they like, and any script will have access to whatever key they want that we expose. So yeah, we're kind of screwing you in the short term. Again, I sorry about that, but we're going to make it even better shortly thereafter.
You got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward sometimes.
Yeah, that's kind of the gist.
The gist there. Okay, General Zod, can you guys do something about the default idle animation? Change it or something?
So
Custom
bad.
Avatar suffers from this, yeah.
Oh my god, thank you for bringing that up, because I talk crap about it almost every day. So yes, we're going to change it. It's so stuck up. It's so stiff. It doesn't even look like the person's alive. I'm right there with you. If you've got good ones that you can point us at, let me know. I've been browsing through more idle animations than I can count.
Have we talked about the ability to swap it, like an emote?
Yeah, you could, and you could even set up like a looping animation on one of your emote slots, then just fire off that emote and idle with that emote endlessly when the new system comes out. But that's different than us actually updating the default idle animation, which we should do.
Will
Okay.
that work in VR?
But I'm glad to see that your complaint is in line with mine. What did you say, Lou?
Will it work in VR? Emotes, like, can we separate emote when the emote's playing? Our controls aren't controlling it.
If you move, you'll cancel the emote. Like if you walk.
Yeah. So if we're just static, then not doing anything, then an emote can kick in for us in VR as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it should. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll ask again, can we not be pulled out of the first person view with an emote? Is that possible to
It kind of depends on the emote, right? Because if you've got an emote that is doing like triple backflip and you're in VR and your head goes along for the ride, that is not a fun experience for most people, I'd wager. So it's like for some emotes it works, for others it really doesn't at all. And so we've taken the conservative approach and popped you out to third person for now. But do you have a good alternative?
Yeah, it give us an option to switch it on or off, and
just like
sort out the arms when we're sitting as well, because they're still in the air.
Yeah, we're looking into that one for sure. But you just want some user setting to stay in first or pop out to third when an emote's playing in VR? Okay.
Yeah, just a button maybe we can choose.
We'd probably default it to third just for comfort's sake, but I totally understand your want. I like Silas's recommendation to put an aubergine hat on AFK people.
I think that's the worst idea. So I like we've got obviously some.
I love it.
A civil war here. The
All
fact
right,
that
well, we'll get studios on it and
Aubergine backpack item win.
Okay.
Merchandising frenzy.
Well, I will be jumping off the edge of the Nexus today, so. And I'll have to keep reliving my fall because you cannot die in SANSAR.
Yeah, you're gonna just teleport back.
It's like Groundhog Day.
The loop.
These are vestigial wings; they don't work. Okay, Blush. Any plans for? Whoa, Blush! I don't know what you're saying. Any plans for on the web store to make similar items one list? Blush, I'm going to need you to retype this. I don't know if I understand what you're saying. Any let me see what I can. Okay, to make similar items. I see. Okay, so you're trying to have if an item has different colors or different sort of variations, we want to keep that within one listing as opposed to having a million listings for different colors.
It's a good idea. I don't think that is happening right now, to be honest. Dave, correct me if I'm wrong if you know.
It's not being worked on to my knowledge. We've talked about it a bunch. It's more of a web problem, if I remember right, than a client problem at this point.
Yeah, because that's where the listings happen.
But yeah, it's a lot of things have to get connected on a very long chain in order to make that work. So it just hasn't floated to the top of the priority list yet.
Okay, we know that would make things cleaner and easier in the store for you all. So keep asking us about it, and we'll see if we can get it up that priority chain at some point. Arena asks, are there any workarounds for broken hair? Anyone else have shattered hair?
Yeah, I was looking at that. Is that new, or did that hair work before?
Yes, it worked before for a long time. So all of a sudden, I log on after.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, there were some changes to the way that we do the auto scanning to the morph skeleton that may have affected that, but they should have made that kind of thing better. We should get that bugged and get the asset linked to it.
Is that like a 1.0 hair on a 2.0 skeleton? Is that the issue?
No,
it's working.
Arena, could you link the hair that you have? Because I think I know exactly which ones you're talking about, and it seems to be from one creator that I'm noticing this. It's got like triangles in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what
I've
you're
one on
talking
her
about.
right now.
I don't know what it's
I
called.
don't know an update.
I'll go look at it.
Okay, if you can link that
Right
into the
back.
chat, I think I know what you're talking about. I've experienced it as well.
Why don't you go ahead and DM it to Lacey on Discord so we're not calling out a specific creator in front of
Oh
everyone?
that works.
Okay, and then go ahead and take care of that offline.
It was
and
her
then,
update that broke it, so it's okay.
All right, cool. I just don't want to put any creators' creations
No
into
worries.
question. Silas asks, you used to be able to make a pose with an object like the saber that points to a mouse pointer, then press F4 and your avatar would keep that pose. That doesn't work anymore. Is that on purpose?
Doing that in the first place was never intended, so the fact that that broke is totally just happenstance. It was never intended originally, and we definitely weren't testing to make sure that it could keep happening. But you're basically saying you just moved your arm into a position and then pressed F4 to lock your avatar in place with FreeCam?
Would you like press F4 with your toe?
No. When you're in desktop. But yeah, it was never intended. So.
Okay, sorry, I was dealing with Twitch real quick. Next, Zero. Nope, Mad Eye. Mad Eye asks, should events boost a world's popularity on the Codex? There were 2 events on Tuesday night, and it didn't appear to do that. There's a larger question here, and I'm going to hijack your question, Mad Eye, so we can get sort of a general answer to a bigger question. Is how does the popularity on the Codex work? I've mentioned in Discord, and then I'm going to let the smart people answer this after I'm done talking. I mentioned in Discord that we won't exactly expose how popularity works because we don't want people to game the engine. Some people have more time than others to manipulate certain items in world to make their worlds more popular if we revealed the variables that go into popularity. So there's that. We will never let anybody know exactly how it works, but we can maybe give some general advice, and I will let somebody else do that. Anybody? Do we have, maybe that's a Bowden thing?
Probably.
Okay, so Bowden's not here, so we won't be able to help with that today, but if anybody else knows on the SANSAR staff, go ahead and speak up, and if I don't hear anything in 5 seconds, we'll move on. All right, that's 5 seconds. Zero Cheese asks, can you remind everyone that... Jeez. Oh, Zero.
Shameless.
I almost did it. Zero is a shameless self-promoter, and if you want to know anything about what he's doing, you can ask him. Oh, my God. Sino, you got to be careful. I almost read that out loud.
I'm sorry. It looked like a question.
Zero. Okay. It was in question form.
Wow. Zero. What a dirty move. Okay, so I'm going to move past that because I don't think anybody needs to know about Zero Cheese's grand reopening of Camp Goonies, so I'm not going to respond to that. Medihue says, we were told event traffic counts towards our worlds, but it doesn't seem to be happening. And right now, the rankings in popular are wacky. What's going on with all this? Why would we continue to promote our places if it has zero influence on whether people can find our places better?
So traffic does have an effect on popularity, and it's just that it's much more complicated than that. It's not a direct 5 people showed up, and if 4 people were in the other one, then you're directly above them. There's a lot of other variables at play, and we try to keep that system close to our chest so that you're not aware of how to game it in any way. Now, if there's something specific, there's some event that you've hosted that you thought was popular and it didn't get pulled like you felt it should have, we can speak about those individually. But generally speaking, the system seems to be working the way that we've designed it to.
Have you looked at the popularity rankings today?
Can't hear you, Medihue. Go ahead and type it or come closer. Okay, Medhiu's typing. While he's Medhu's the slowest typer. I'm just kidding, Medhu. All right, Blush asks, I'll go ahead and get back to it. Okay, have you looked at the popularity rankings today? Medhu thinks that they're still out of whack.
I have.
Okay, there's your answer, Medhu. He has. All right, next. Blush asks, does body customization? I'm just kidding, Medhu. He has, and if there's any sort of problem, we'll look into it. But I believe, and I'm going to go ahead and just reiterate the answer. It's working as it should. If it is a mystery to you, that's probably a good thing. So nobody can game it. But yes, the popularity system is to surface popular worlds, but also new worlds that might be popular for some reason, and also help people discover other worlds, right? So those are the things that we're trying to do, and all the variables lead to that somehow. And no, it is not broken.
And again, if you have a specific event or a world that you feel isn't being pulled into the popular section, given how popular you feel it is, then we can talk about that on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, and then bye, Silas. Have a happy holidays. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate your very serious questions, as per usual. We'll miss you here. Blush asks, does body customization have a rough time frame when it would come? Also, any take for upping the quantity of wearable items by just a couple more? Oh, is there any? What do we think about upping the amount of wearable items?
It's kind of a performance question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
So
gonna say
if
that.
you have to come up with a cutoff somewhere, and just saying this many items and this is the maximum number of triangles per item is a lot more predictable than, oh, you hit too many triangles, you got to take something off. It's kind of hard to have a good user experience when people are wearing too many triangles, and it's kind of hard to have a good user experience when you never know if putting on the next thing is going to make you take another thing off. We have talked about getting rid of the slots for accessories. I don't know if we've done it yet, where you can wear more than one accessory from an individual slot.
Okay. There's still some talk around the ranking system. Medhu says it's currently broken, even if it's...
We didn't answer the body question.
Sorry. What was it? Oh, body customization. Does it have a rough time frame when it would come? I believe that's sliders and whatnot, deformation.
Doing for the body what we did for the face.
Yes, that's right.
And I don't know where it is on the schedule. We've done a lot of work towards that, but I don't know if it's going to be back on the schedule to complete that before some other initiatives.
Stretch, do you know the answer to that? Who knows that?
Is Stretch here?
Where did he go?
Stretch the bow out earlier.
Oh, okay. Do we have any idea of when body deformation? Okay, nobody knows. We don't know right now. We don't have the right people here to answer that question. I don't think it's coming soon. So I know that's not a great answer, but it's something that is right now on the back burner. Okay. I believe that's true. Nayusha asks, when running it... Oh, well, let's go back to that. Just to follow up on the world ranking system, Medhu says it's currently broken. I believe he means even if it's working how it's intended, it's still broken. There's no logic in the rankings right now. Just looking at our own worlds, it's wacky. Evo Av, as a follow-up, sort of to bundle these questions and responses together, says, if we spend 100 hours to create a scene, what should we focus on to get it noticed in the rankings? So those are all questions regarding popularity. Yes. Okay. Do we want to respond to that, or is it just...
I mean, it's a really open-ended question. Your world could be one of infinite things that you might want to do an infinite number of things with. So answering how you should advertise your world that you spent 100 hours creating is a bit hard to answer, to be honest.
And Bowden would be the one to really give more insight, right?
That's right. Bowden's not here. This is all
probably.
Okay, so sorry, guys. We won't be able to answer that right now because Bowden is in Germany, I think, or something. Not like you need to know where he is, but he's not here. Okay, next we have Nayusha. When running an event, can we have the choice between running the event in our own experience or a special event instance like it currently is?
Creating as
Okay, I will talk about this candidly. This is the bane of my existence and studios more broadly. So the reason why it's not possible right now is it was originally developed this way to support the ticketing system to scale events for revenue. However, I understand the frustration with that is that those tools, they aren't available to our community. It's an inward facing thing. So that's a huge confusion for a lot of cases where you're like, I just want to make my original world event. I don't want to make a copy of this and then separate it and get confused about which one I'm editing, so on and so forth. And if you are feeling that way, if you're feeling a lot of pain, we have been too, and we've explored different options at separating that, but it's not trivial work. Zayas and I, we've talked a great deal about things like making the whole My Worlds structure a lot better with a sensible hierarchy, like a folder type system. Alex can speak more to that, of course. But it all relates to the sort of not having a great situational awareness of what you're actually editing when it comes to event scenes versus non-event ones. And it's confusing to even talk about that differentiation. So unfortunately now there isn't a good way to do that. But one thing in the interface where I tend to not, so this is my own best practice. If I don't enforce this on anyone else, but if it helps you, maybe it'll go some way towards some of the pain points, is that I will not edit the event scene directly. I always, because people accidentally overwrite your work and stuff like that. There's a tendency with the current limits of the UI until such time we improve that. I always edit the original non-event world, and then later I update the event itself to change to that. So that's something where at least you have a source. I recommend making manual backups, making copies of your worlds along the way, and you can delete the world and then just have it in the scenes at the bottom in case you have finite slots you're running out of. So I completely empathize with anyone who wants to do more events, who is finding it a confusing sort of thing, but for now, that's how it is. I would definitely be the first one to shout it from the rooftops when we have confirmed news that if this is something that can make your lives a lot easier, that we can deliver, that would be a good thing for everyone. But yeah, since we had to make such a hard trade-off when it was first implemented, and because we want to really put ticketing into place for things like concerts that are paid or not paid, and with avatar broadcasting, there are greater complications there. Like, long story short, there's a lot of can of worms. So sorry that answer isn't more succinct, but just wanted to share and elucidate in some of the background.
Okay, thanks, Torley. So that is some interesting background knowledge.
Friendly greetings.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Zero Cheese has a great tip. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That's what essentially we do too. Just do the swapperoo. Always test your events. Use the pre-event access link. If you click the little triple dots and then visit your event before it's live, then you'll know at least what content will actually be in your event when the doors open. Always recommend making time for a rehearsal.
Yeah, thanks for that workaround, Zero. Okay, everybody, we got started a little late, and so we ran over a little bit here, but I believe it is time for us to call it a day. As I'm getting pings in our workplace chat about how people want to go eat lunch and why am I keeping them here and why am I able to torture them but they can't torture me, and that they'll get revenge on me someday.
Thank you. You too, guys.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Thanks for being with us in Sansar.
Merry Christmas.
Bye. I'll see you guys today in about 45 minutes where we have the Codex Hop happening. There'll be a bunch of streamers that were coming in for the Don Diablo concert. So if you ever, want to show off some of your stuff, or you want to talk to them about Sansar, or you want to, get in touch with them, they'll be there and they'll be broadcasting to all their audiences. And after that, of course, as a reminder, we have an incredible show by DJ Daisy Bell and Swedish House Mafia, who goes by Carlson, happening in Club Visa. It's Sansar 1984.
What
I don't
happens
see
if
that world
Sansar
hopping
crashes?
thing on the events calendar.
What do you mean?
Christmas, everyone.
Wait, how many? One question at a time.
Somebody said Merry Christmas, and then and then Aluv asks, what happens if SANSAR crashes?
Yeah, I was asking what happens if SANSAR crashes over Christmas.
We still have people online and checking things. It's not like we all just check out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When do you guys go on vacation?
My vacation starts in 5 hours.
Sweet.
Ooh, lucky! I'll be here up until Christmas Eve.
That
Ooh,
world
sweet.
hopping event that you just
Where is-
mentioned, Galileo, I don't see that on the schedule.
Sorry, what'd you say?
You
I
just
don't
mentioned
see-
a world hopping event happening.
Yeah, the world. So yeah, this is a little bit weird thing about our event system. Since the world hopping event is just going to happen in the Nexus, that's where we're going to meet. There's not really an easy way for me to put the event up on our event system. Because it would put us in a different instance of the Nexus. So just so you know, we're all meeting up in the Nexus at 1, which I'll be putting on Discord and
At
social media soon.
one, what time zone?
Sorry, in 45 minutes. We'll be meeting there in
Okay.
45 minutes to start
Where's
the
the
hop.
Don
Okay, thank
Diablo
you.
event?
The Don Diablo event is not happening.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that got canceled.
Postponed. Wow. We talked about this in a PR meeting.
Temporarily canceled.
Yeah, we'll be doing that in January, I believe. So.
Ouch. Okay. Well, I will be streaming at the 1984 show.
1984. I heard somebody render that same noise by going punches, 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 punches. Punches, punches,
Yeah, but I don't
punches.
think they did that in 1984. It's more.
It was more just like synthwave.
I don't think Boots and
buzzing.
Cats was going in 1984.
It was more like a. That's 1984.
Electronic music, yeah.
It was just feedback loops. It wasn't actually music.
Yeah, Giorgio Moroder actually did some sort of. Anyways,
There was cool stuff with synthesizers in the 70s and like 60s. Even
I believe what Medhu's saying is there's no obvious logic, but there is.
I was getting back to him there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go eat. So, Alex, you should eat too because you're getting pretty skinny, and it scares me.
real quick, Gal.
Was it Christmas dinner today?
No, it's ramen.
Yeah. What the heck?
I'm gonna go get my dinner too before
They
the
have Christmas in
world
Japan.
hopping event. So I'll catch everybody later in a little while.
I believe they call
Did you
it
guys
Christmas.
just see YouTube Glitch's avatar glitch out? That was really weird looking.
It's an animation.
yeah, I see.
Oh, it's an animation.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, internet. I'm turning off the stream now.
That animation